This is TWiT.
Mike Elgan is here. He is our news director at TWiT, the host of Tech News Today. Yes. And he, you use a Mac laptop, I got to tell you.
I do, but I used Windows for, I don't know, a decade and a half or more.
You edited Windows Magazine.
Windows Magazine, that's true. That's true.
So you ought to know a little bit about it.
That's right. And this, of course, this would be a competitor to things like the MacBook Pro with Retina, because it's a super great screen. So this is the Toshiba Satellite P50t. Now, the way to look at this laptop is it's more or less a regular Windows laptop. But it has 4K. And in fact, this is the only laptop ever shipped, or at least it was the first one, to ship with a Technicolor certification for 4K. So this is a 4K screen. So what I want to do first...
So it's twice the resolution of my HD screen?
4 times the resolution.
Twice wide and
That's
twice
exactly,
top to bottom?
Exactly. And
wow.
So here's sort of the canned video that comes with it. The music's pretty boring, but we'll go ahead and play it anyway.
See, computer makes sense for 4K, because while there may not be a lot of 4K movies available, in fact, there really aren't any, unless you can get one of those hard drive things, there's a lot of computer content that's 4K.
That's right. But we'll get to the caveats in just a sec, but let's just go over the specs briefly on this.
Boy, that's gorgeous.
It's a 15.6-inch Ultra HD TrueBite screen. It's an IPS, so it's got pretty wide viewing angle.
Yeah, I can see it from here. I'm off to the side. Yeah.
The star of the show is the native resolution of 3840 by 2160. Wow. It's a pretty... And you can see the reflective screen.
I want to
That's
look
one
at
of the
this.
downsides.
Well, all of them are like that.
Yeah.
But I just want to, you at home are only seeing it at best 720p. So this looks like the 4K monitors I used to see at CES. This is gorgeous.
Yep. It's got pretty reasonable specs. It's got a quad-core i7 CPU, up to 16 gigs of RAM. It's got an AMD Radeon R9 M265X GPU with 2 gigs of video RAM, which is important to push all this 4K video. As a laptop, there are certain things about it I don't really care for. And notice that the right edge of the touchscreen is in the middle, so you're off. A lot
of them are starting to do this now. I'm a lefty, which really throws me off when they do that. I want this in the middle.
But it is a full-size keyboard with a numeric keypad as well.
That's
so
cool.
So it's a big.
So really, the trackpad's in the middle of the alphabetic keyboard.
It's pretty much in the middle. Yes. So you're kind of the screen is here and you're over to the left.
But I hate the little space bar. Always throws me. Yeah. It's a little bit of a strange key.
Yeah, and I can, it's a matter of personal preference to a certain extent. It has to be said that the keyboard is pretty good. It's pretty nice for a Windows laptop. Now let's get to some of the 4K goodies here. Make this go away. Went to full screen. And thank you for your time. So
is it touch?
It is touch. It is a touch here. Here you go. Touch screen. There you go. 10-point touch.
See, I think you and I both agree 8.1 needs touch.
It does, and I'm a big fan of touch. I don't believe in the gorilla arm phenomenon. I think it's okay for lots of uses. And the truth is that after using an iPad, I'm touching my screen anyway. It's nice when something happens. So
you don't use it all. I don't use it all the time. I use the keyboard and mouse a lot. But every once in a while, you want to bring and swipe in the charms or swipe down the task.
So now this comes with wallpaper that is 4K wallpaper, just very high def. This has an app called ChromaTune that comes with ChromaTune. So this is right here. I've got it on Technicolor. This is Technicolor.
So they're changing the color space too.
Exactly. And so if you're a photographer, professional photographer, you're doing 4K video especially, this is important because you have perfect color fidelity. If you're just a high-end user, you want to click this over to Rec 709 is my favorite. You can go a setting called full and then cool and warm. I don't know why people would want cool and warm.
No, that's terrible.
But Technicolor is accurate and Rec 709 looks best in my opinion. But you have this very easy method to switch between them, and of course it's certified Technicolor. Again, that's really huge for people who really need, professionals need color fidelity. Has HDMI. It has 4 3.0 USB 3.0 ports.
One for your tablet for sure. If you this is for an artist. Boy, this is great.
That's right. Now, oddly enough, here are the caveats that I have about this. You'd think, well, okay, this is a super high-end. This is like the laptop that has the greatest video you can imagine. That's not really the case. When you're doing 4K stuff, it is great. When you're doing true color fidelity, photography and video, it's great. For everything else, it is not that great. It's pretty mediocre. There's inconsistency in the font rendering. So some of the fonts don't look crystal clear as they do on the MacBook Pro with Retina, for example. All the fonts on the MacBook Pro with Retina look fantastic. And so let me just give you an example if I can find it here.
I wonder if this might be a Windows problem as much as it is the hardware.
It could be. It could be. It depends on the site. A lot of the Google sites don't look all that high res for.
I think that's Chrome for one thing.
Right.
Yeah, we had that problem when the Retina MacBooks first came out. Is Google Chrome looked terrible.
Yeah.
Apple solved this somewhat by having a high DPI solution, which means you'd run it at 1080p unless you had an image that was higher quality, and then it would jump to that.
Yeah.
I don't know if Windows has such a great, easy way to do that on Windows.
Yeah.
I run my Windows at my Mac at 1080p on a 4K display.
Yeah. Now, one of the things you mentioned games earlier. This is one of the surprises. This is not good for high resolution games. You have to dial down the resolution in order to get reasonable performance on the game. So you can't play games at 4K.
What's the GPU? It's a Radeon?
It's a Radeon. Yes, it's a Radeon GPU. It has 2 gigs of video RAM. It's a Radeon R9 M265X.
Okay.
The GPU is fine. The problem is that the games haven't been written for 4K.
Right.
And again, 4K content is a problem. You can find some 4K content on YouTube, but really it's in the minority. Netflix has some 4K content, but really if your expectation is that you're going to get this laptop and you're going to be watching 4K content all the time, you're not.
Well, and the other thing is you take a hit with 4K because it's going to hit the CPU. It's a lot of work to push those pixels.
Yes, it is.
And it's going to kill the battery life.
Well, one of the weird things about this, it's got a fan on the right side. So if you're using a mouse, an external mouse plugged in, it's like, it's like a blow dryer pointed at your hand.
Well, it's good for sweaty palms.
It's great when it's cold. It'll keep your hand warm, at least one of them.
Is it a loud fan, too?
You can hear it.
Yeah.
When it gets going. It's not so bad right now, but once you start pushing 4K around, it gets kind of loud. Again, so let me just get to the recommendation because this is where the rubber meets the road. If you're a professional and you have some use for 4K, this is a great product because it's a laptop. It's Technicolor certified. It's relatively inexpensive, $17.99.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, if you look at what the Mac Pro is, for example, that's another 4K option for professionals, not a portable. That is really, this is
it's $2,500
computer. Yeah,
same specs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, without the monitor.
Right.
So this is
the Mac Pro. Yeah, that's $3,000.
Right.
But a Mac Pro with Retina display, 15 inches, about $2,500. So $800 more.
Yeah, exactly. But it's good for that, and for certain types of professional photographers, I would recommend it.
Something
but if you are a regular user who just wants a great screen, this is not the product for you. You're not going to find the content. You're not going to be able to play games and do all the things you think you're going to be able to do in 4K. You're going to be using a regular laptop that has a loud, hot fan. And so I don't recommend it for ordinary users, but for professionals, I do recommend it. So this would be a buy for professionals. Don't buy for even advanced or enthusiast users.
And you know who you are. And it's a good cautionary tale. Don't buy 4K because it's not that much as 4K.
That's right.
And there are penalties for running such a high resolution
And we want
display.
people to make 4K. So if you're making 4K, get this laptop so you can see the 4K you've made.
Right.
But if you just want to consume 4K, forget it. It's not worth it.
Mike Elgan, he's the news director at the TWiT Brick House. He's also the host of Tech News Today, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 1700 UTC. Right here, your daily dose of tech news. A buy if you're a pro, but not anybody else on this new Toshiba Satellite. And you have the number. It's the P50 laptop.
P50t, that's right.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.